Hi guys, it's a beautiful day once again and welcome back to Dexter's World channel.
When I wake up early in the morning and when I come home at night.
Well, today's video allow me to inspire you about this catfish farming because this catfish farming had been so in demand now all over the world. And this has good meat, and if you are having problems with food security in your country, maybe this is one of the things that we have to consider, this catfish farming.
I try to make this world a little brighter.
Well, in our place, we have started teaching the communities on how to raise this one. And I'm so proud that our channel has been one of the sources of knowledge and information about the techniques and the procedures, the basic tips on how to produce this catfish. Well, we said that this catfish is difficult without the hormones. It's difficult to breed. But then, per experience, this breeding of this catfish had been made very easy if we will just follow some steps. And I already have mentioned that in my previous videos. But today, allow me to teach you on how to prepare our fish to spawn their eggs. Well, without the hormones, yes, we can possibly breed this one, but we have to prepare the breeders in order to spawn their eggs. Well, I already have mentioned that we have to separate the male and the female 1 week before the intended breeding or spawning their eggs. And on the preparation aspect, it is my practice to feed them with high-protein food. Well, just this morning, I went to the market to buy some fresh fish. And this fish that I used to buy is commonly known here as tamban. And feeding the catfish of the meat of this fish had been so effective for us. But since we employ this method, we have already spawned and produced thousands of fingerlings of this catfish. In fact, few weeks ago, we were able to put in some 5,000 fingerlings of this catfish to the mud pond. And their growth had been so quick that they are now very big and due for harvest maybe after 2 months from now. And this is my inspiration to massively produce this one and inspire people and teach people to do their own farming things so that they will also have food for the family. Maybe you are not aiming to massively produce in a commercial scale, but my encouragement is for us to have a ready food for the table for our family. And this is what is happening right now. If I want to eat catfish, I could just pick some from this tank and then fry that for my breakfast. And this is now my practice. So eating this fresh meat of the catfish. So now, maybe you're interested how we're gonna prepare this one. Please look at this clip.
Call me the joker, call me the fool. When she calls, I always seem to lose my cool. Baby, I'm just a mouse to your plane.
So guys, we're here inside the kitchen and you will see how we prepare a food, best food for our catfish. And I've been so consistent about teaching people how to prepare our breeders. Of course, our breeders need special food and special care and attention. I would like to repeat that in breeding this catfish, we don't anymore use the hormones. What we do is the conditioning of our fish. We will give them some fresh food in order for them to really hatch their eggs and spawn their eggs. So this is our way of conditioning them. We are actually deboning this fish, and then the meat of this will be sliced into pieces. We will slice this into small pieces, and then this fresh fish will condition our breeder catfish to really spawn their eggs. So this is different from the Japanese koi preparation, because the Japanese koi could not eat this one. I suppose that this Japanese koi will be just given class A pellet, that's high protein pellet. But the catfish are really carnivorous that they love to eat this meat. This is not done on a regular basis because we normally feed our catfish with just the ordinary pellet when we grow them. But it's different story when we are going to breed them because they need sufficient amount of this fresh meat of the fish. So when you are giving this kind of food to the catfish, be sure that we will drain the water of the tank on a regular basis. So every day we are actually reducing at least 25% of the water. This is just done when you are conditioning them for, for breeding. So guys, we are going to throw this one. Well, there are actually hundreds of breeders that are here, and we will not see them eating because these are sinkers. This will not float, but I am sure that they are eating down under. We will also be careful about giving this kind of fresh food because it will contaminate the water. And let me emphasize again the importance of an aged water before we're gonna breed our catfish. And I have already mentioned that in our previous videos. And also the importance of flowing the water when the time that these eggs are already hatched, because the water will somehow be spoiled by the unhatched eggs. The water management really here is very important because we're gonna prevent bacteria from coming in. So we will protect the fry from the fungus, and our way of protecting them is to, of course, add very slowly new water and drain some 30% of the old water in the spawning tank. So guys, we're here beside the spawning tank of our catfish. The earlier batch of this catfish had already been transferred in this bigger tank. And I would like to emphasize also that before we're gonna transfer our catfish, be sure that the water that you are going to use, where they're gonna transfer, is an aged water. This is actually the key word for the success of this catfish breeding. You always have to use aged water, the water that had been stocked for at least 5 days. I have here some 300 baby catfish, and they have no uniform size. There are big, there are small, there are really large catfish. And at this stage, I can safely assume now that we are on the 80 to 90% success. We can grow this and become successful in this business. But then we have two options at this stage. The first option is to select all the bigger fish to prevent them from eating the smaller ones, and that is a tedious option. And the second option is just to put them together, but you put them in a bigger tank which is filled with algae. You will see that this is a tank where they can eat so many algae, and they have an unlimited food right here because they are fond really of eating this algae. This is a way for us to avert cannibalism. This is really very normal for this fish, especially if they go hungry. So they will not go hungry because there are plenty of food right here, the algae, and we're also giving live food. And number two, they are not so congested that the inferior ones have that space to escape from the bigger ones. So we will put this now, and of course I would like to emphasize that the water in this tank had been aged for 5 days already. Okay, so I will release this. In the process, we will acclimatize them with this new water. We will not put them abruptly because there will be water shock. We have to take into consideration that the fish are just 5 days old, so they cannot survive if there is an abrupt water temperature. So I think we are now ready to release them slowly here. Okay, so there are 300 of them. I expect to have 10,000 more. And I'm doing this in order for us to follow and learn from the practical tips that I have revealed to you. And one of my friends asked me, why do you reveal all your secrets? Well, I promised you to all my subscribers, to the 1 million people who subscribe to our channel, that we will learn together. I always emphasize the fact that you will learn many things, especially in the field of agriculture and aquaculture. So you will see right here that we can see many eggs, and the color of these eggs are actually very visible. It's whitish, and all these eggs that have white color are already spoiled eggs, contaminated eggs. But I'm so glad that despite of this, we can see so many of the eggs that are hatched, and you will see wigglers right here, and they are so plenty. I'm very positive about having a large-scale business insofar as this catfish farming is concerned. And I'm so happy also that many people now all over the world have been informed by the techniques that we have employed or adopted, and they became also successful in breeding all these types of ornamental fish, and even in poultry farming. And one of you commented that because of our tutorials, you were able to establish your own farm of chicken, and I'm so happy about that. My plan for this channel is to help people, not only helping people about the technologies, but during this pandemic, we also have extended a little help to the nearby residents here in our community. And we have regular beneficiaries on this channel. We normally give some support to the people in the community, especially during this lockdown. And this is my motivation, to become an inspiration to other people to do their thing. Well, there are many hindrances, of course, but these hindrances are opportunities for us to think of possible ways on how to solve the problem. And this is an opportunity for us to also think of many lessons out of the problem in such a way that we could no longer commit the same mistake. To those of you who are just new to this channel, maybe you will ask, Dexter, what's the method in breeding? Well, I always mention in my previous videos about the natural method of breeding. Before we tried this artificial method using the hormones, and this has been our practice, but we did not, I would like to emphasize this one, we did not succeed because only 2-3% of the eggs that have been fertilized will become hatched. So it was a failure. But then I thought about adopting the ordinary method, which is I call the natural method of producing babies of this catfish. And in many other channels, they are actually confusing the people when we can just make the simplest possible way in order to breed this catfish. And this is, guys, the simplest way I have ever discovered. You can just breed your catfish naturally, and you may start this one. And I would like to thank you for your support. I am always inspired to read all your comments, and it gives me some joy revealing all the secrets that I have learned in order for our followers and subscribers to also adopt the same system and become, successful also in this kind of fish farming. So this is my inspiration, to help people, to educate people, to inspire people, so that all of us will have an access to this very practical technologies and be able to adopt our techniques and become prosperous in life. So that's the thing that we can share with you so far. I hope you will continue to like and share our videos. And if you find this channel helpful to you, we ask you to please subscribe and hit that notification bell and choose to be notified of our upcoming videos. We're uploading videos every 3 to 5 days, only here at Dexter's World.